What's going on, world? It's your boy at Big Game James _36. We got a different setup here today, but it is the Sports Den, or excuse me, Big Games BS, brought to you by Big Games BS, part of Den Media Group, brought to you by thehumidor.com. Thehumidor.com is the go-to website for all things cigar and tobacco related. Basically, if you want your cutters, your humidors, your boxes, any of that good stuff. Humidipacks, anything tobacco related, they got it. It's the best. It's already cheap. It's already cheaper than everybody else's. On top of the fact, if you type in sports, then at checkout, you get an extra 20% off. And if you spend over $150, you know what you're gonna get? You're gonna get free shipping in the continental United States. It's just it's the easiest way to support. One of the freest way to support me and support all of the stuff that we got going on is to go and click the like button. Go like the YouTube channel, like all the different social media things. That's the freest way. But the best way is to go support my sponsors, in particular, thehumidor.com, if you're smoking cigars already. Miles, if you could go ahead and pull up the tailgate, it should be the first link in the thing that I sent you. But we're gonna have our Clemson tailgate. This could be the last one. I still would prefer that you go to Ticket Tailor, go to the link, or you could come pay as you get there. The reason why I prefer Ticket Tailor is because a lot of you guys like to pretend like things didn't happen. And this way we can document it. And we've got a special wristband to the first 100 people that come through. It'll be good. We have Celebs, my guy. I didn't get a chance to listen to see if he shouted me out on the Ricky Smiley Morning Show, but hopefully he'll do it on Monday if he didn't already. Is my guy, comedian Benji Brown, will be in attendance. You get an opportunity to see some celebs. He is funny thing about Benji is I met Benji through a Seminole Facebook group, and I was just dropping bombs and dropping knowledge. And he was just like, yo, I gotta link up with this guy. This guy's a good guy. And we just started hanging out. And I just thought, real talk, I just thought Benji was funny as hell. I really didn't know that Benji was a celebrity goddamn comedian. And then, I found out, and everybody's like, oh, you know Benji? Oh, you know Benji? Like, it was ladies that I knew. They were like, oh, can you introduce me to Benji? I'm like, man, fuck Benji. Who the hell is Benji? Then my mama was like, you know Benji Brown? You know Benji Brown? Well, everybody, I know Benji Brown. Benji Brown will be there. If you want to see Benji Brown in a free, well, it's not a free comedy act, but Benji normally costs a lot more than $40. And you can't get, and you got to buy a drink, and it's 1 drink, 2 drink minimums at some of the places. I've been there to go support my guy. Peter Ward will be there, Snoop Minutes, a ton of other Seminole legends and Seminole greats will be there for the FSU Clemson game. TheHumidor.com is a sponsor of that. We will have cigars that will be out there, as you know. If your kid, it is kid friendly. If your kid smokes a cigar, gets into moonshine, that is not my problem. That is your child. MFTK. Inside of the World is great. Oh, while we're talking about the tailgate, shout out to Game Day Vodka and ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. Game Day Vodka is providing a shit ton of vodka. I appreciate them and Sporadics for all the support. Shout out to my guy Chris Frazier. Game Day Vodka, some of the best vodka. Proud to be able to partner with them on this. And shout out to ABC. I might be getting a call from ABC, so you may have to see me doing business, because if they call me, that means that I still got to yell at people about my trade gift cards to provide the alcohol for you guys. But that's all the things. Oh, and a portion of the proceeds go to all the MFCK Foundation events here in the winter. We've given out 1,000 turkeys in Jacksonville. We're going to give out gifts for good grades, as well as the Micanopy 1851 Education Fund. So just realize when you're supporting this tailgate, you are supporting things going back to the community. I promise you, it's not just about lining my pockets. If it were, there's a lot other more efficient ways of me making money that I can go do besides this. So check us out. Come support, hang out. I don't want to take any of the food back from Shannon Cheeseboro. I don't want to at True King's Crab Trap, and I don't want to take any of the liquor back. So we want to make sure everything is gone. We'll have apple cobbler, moonshine, strawberry shortcake, dreamsicle. I think like 5 different types of jungle juice. We'll have like 5 or 6 different types of moonshine. Again, keep your kids away from the shine because it does look like and it does taste like juice, and your kid will be slap drunk as well as you. So inside the world's greatest cigar lounge, Goodfellas Cigar Lounge, hanging out here, just chilling. We had a great weekend with Jack Cigar Fest. If you're in Jacksonville area and you're looking for a safe place to come party and vibe, come check us out while you're here for the Jackson State Bethune-Cookman University football game. Come check us out tonight. We'll have a live band. We'll have a live band Saturday. We'll have no brunch Sunday, but we're going to have some good stuff going on here. As well as I continue to try to share this into all the groups. Today is a Friday show. We're gonna get a little wild, kind of fucking Friday-ish. You can already see by the setup. I'm holding the microphone, so it's already on part of this. But there's been a lot of fuckery going on in the world between social media and just it's wild. So you might want to stay tuned to all of it. Let me go check out my script here so I can go down the proper way. NFL being one of those. Like I love football, man. I can watch football all day, but at this point, I can no longer watch Thursday night football. I like the camera angles. I like the technology being brought to it. It is just a shitty overall product. I'm sorry. It is just not good. Unless the Jags are on it, I don't want no part of the Thursday night football lineup. I'm specifically sticking to college. And college, like you saw the West Virginia played, and it was a shootout. It was a great, exciting game. I don't necessarily need a shootout. I just need better than the Washington Commanders versus the Chicago Bears. And it's just Justin Fields is out here fighting for his life. And you got guys again. I told you guys how I feel about Jason Brown, the slap dick dude, the big white guy that's never done anything with his life besides coach community college. He's over here always talking about who's good, who's not good, his expert opinion as a community college coach. But, whatever. I am looking at Justin Fields, and Justin Fields pre-snap has 4 offensive linemen in his back pocket. Like, if you're in a gun, you're going to get about a 2 to 3 step drop, right? For the most, unless it's quick game. So that means you're lined up at 5. That means you're going to more than likely be at about 7 to 8. Justin Fields has 4 offensive linemen 4 yards deep before he can even get to the end of his drop. That means he can't even get to his reads. So we don't even know if he sucks. He very well could be not any good, but we just don't know. And Justin is out here trying to, and people are going out here stealing, like, screenshotting the play. Like, yeah, there's a guy on the backside that's wide open, but he can't get to the backside because he's got to go through his goddamn reads. And it's not even blitz pressure that's bringing it to him. It's literally just 3 down and 4 down linemen. So there is no way he can go back. He's not supposed to go backside. You're supposed to actually have a little bit of time. He is out there just like the Kevin Hart "Help Me" that you just saw. Now, bigger than that, Carson Wentz continues to be the winningest quarterback on Thursday Night Football, and he's ass. He's so bad. It is just trash. They have not scored a touchdown, and I want to say in a crazy amount of quarters. It's like Thursday Night Football is allergic to the winner scoring points. It is a field goal. If you have fantasy football, it is a field goal kicker's dream. Whoever the field goal kicker is on one of those teams is going to get you 20 points. Pick them.
And Commanders have such good stories around them. Great offense.
Brian Robinson. Was it Brian Robinson? Yeah, Brian Robinson Jr.
Yeah, he's coming back, and it's just to come.
This man is literally the 50 Cent of football. Like, it is guys who are complaining about hamstrings that have not been playing, and B-Rob got shot. I know somewhere there's a woman telling a man that, "Oh man, baby, I'm tired. I can't come see you. I just got off of work." And she's like, "Well, Brian Robinson went to work and he got shot." It is somebody using Brian Robinson against somebody, and it's just not cool. But like, it's just a terrible product. NFL in general this season, even though I'm enjoying it, they've got to do some things to change it. Analytics, not just the culture, but the play, the rules, Tom Brady getting special treatment. Tom Brady got caressed and gently placed down to the ground on a sack, and a penalty was thrown that possibly changed the landscape of the game. Yet Tom Brady gets to do things like this, and all he gets is a fine afterwards. You mean to tell me you saw him gently lay down a guy like a thought that you met from the club on Saturday night, and you're trying to impress her, but you don't see him actually get up and kick a guy in the face? That means you're not watching everybody. And this is why people are starting to hate quarterbacks in the manner in which they hate kickers. Because you already don't have to get hit during the week. You wear a special jersey so nobody touches you. So when you get touched in the game, now you cry. And everybody has to do that. It has to treat you differently. Like, bro, relax. Call this stuff. Take care of everybody on the field. This is what, you know what pisses me off? And Candace Owens and Kanye did piss me off because I know what they are. They're attention seekers. Their job is to get money. But this is when the All Lives Matter thing needs to come in place. They matter. Do defensive lives not matter? You know what you could do to somebody kicking them in the face? You can get a concussion on top of grass and a bunch of other things that aren't savory. But why aren't we protecting everybody else on the field? As a fullback, I didn't like getting hit very hard. I like to hit people hard, but I didn't like getting hit very hard. But nobody came out and said my life mattered. Nobody gave a shit. And the craziest part about Thursday night's game is we see what they do consistently to other quarterbacks. I don't necessarily believe it's a racist thing. I think it's a thing against athletic quarterbacks. Athletic quarterbacks' lives matter. Like Tom Brady, a pocket passer, gets hit somewhat hard. He gets a flag. People are throwing stuff. Tua gets damn near killed and throws up the West Side Connection and starts crip walking in his sleep. Not a flag thrown. Justin Fields got laid out in this game. Not a flag thrown. Kermit the Frog, Patrick Mahomes, literally got hit the exact same way that Tom Brady got hit. Not a flag thrown. It's crazy what's going on with the protection of some quarterbacks. All people want is consistency. If it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. Treat everybody the same, NFL, or you're going to lose it. And what I would prefer you do is treat everybody like you treat most of the NFL and like you've done for the majority of the time the NFL has existed. Treat everyone like shit. You're paying them enough money. Go on, treat them like shit. That's cool. We're going to watch. You know why? Because nobody really gives a fuck. If people gave a fuck, nobody would be trying to get Tua Tagovailoa back on that football field after what we saw. Not this quick. But truth be told, nobody gives a fuck. Like I told the truth. Had somebody in my group chat keeps bringing up, hey, they let this guy play. I'm like, what's wrong is wrong and right is right to me. It's not about who did it. There could be more than one shitty organization. The Dolphins don't own the monopoly on shitty organizations. Right. To be honest with you, they're not the shittiest of organizations. Daniel Snyder holds that crown. But ain't shit. And it's a lot of ain't shit people going on. Now, Dan Snyder ain't shit for a variety of reasons because, one, he's a misogynist and he's used his billions to become a playboy, which a lot of you guys fantasize about. You don't care if it's right or wrong unless it happens to. And the problem I have with a lot of you people is you don't care until it happens to you. Like, and I'm a stickler and I crave consistency. Like, if you're cool with guys, with your wife going to work and they build a special clear, special glass staircase so they can look at your wife's undergarments or your daughter's undergarments, then dope. At least you're honest. If you care about your daughter being a cheerleader for the Washington Commanders, and she gets flued out to the DR with some of the high-profile Washington Commander payment guys so that she can be posing basically as a softcore porn in front of a bunch of geriatric rich old white men, then you know what? Good for you. You know what? I'm not cool with that. I don't want that. I don't want that unless they want that. But, like, I know how some of you guys are. You're simps. You cry. You pretend to be tough with your thumbs, but you know good and damn well if Dan Snyder went over there and grabbed your wife by the ass, you would be what was the movie? Not the Butterfly Effect. Eyes wide shut. You couldn't. You would break down if you knew that your wife had if a dude had a mask on and was destroying your wife. And that's what Dan Snyder wanted to do to most of you guys. If you put yourself in that position, most of you guys' wives, that guy wanted to smash it. And she worked in that environment. It was basically a frat house. Your wives, your daughters. Hide your kids, hide your wives. But Dan Snyder knows that there's other owners who do similar things, allegedly. But I already knew this. That's why they haven't moved forward with it. Because America is not about accountability. It's about hiding the truth so that you don't get in trouble. And sometimes somebody has to fall on the sword. But what happens when the guy doesn't want to fall on the sword? What happens when he does with the most iconic movie scene ever? When Nino Brown at the end of the movie says, this thing bigger than Nino Brown. If I'm going down, everybody going down with me. I think we got that clip too, because I want y'all to see this, because this was great. Because it was in the scene, Nino Brown is being charged with basically RICO and conspiracy. A lot of you guys are just finding out about RICO because you didn't grow up in the hood, but that's because all your favorite rappers are now being hit with RICOs. But RICO was created to get Italians, but now they're using it to get dudes up out the hood. But go ahead and play this. I'll explain the rest of the scene.
This thing is bigger than Nino Brown, and I gotta listen to you. If I'm going down, I'm taking a whole lot of people with me.
Order in the court.
This thing is bigger than Nino Brown, and I gotta listen to you. If I'm going down, I'm taking a whole lot of people with me.
You know who I think is gonna do this in the coming days? 4-5. 4-5 did say he was gonna drain the swamp, and he about to get hit. Now that the Supreme Court said that they can't seal some of them documents, my dog about to do some. My dog might get to be the first person that's got to go in front of a murdering squad because of treason. So I think it's going to be a lot more guys going down with him. But I think he's going to pull that exact scene. But Dan Snyder saying, hold up, if you want the NFL to stay true and not lose money, I got way bigger things than what y'all thought y'all had to deal with than with Chucky calling not Paul Tagliabue, calling the NFL commissioner, it'll come to me in a second, a pussy, and calling DeMaurice Smith stupid and all these other different things, and calling one of his players a homosexual epitaph. It's like he knows Jerry. But we already know Jerry Jones be doing it. Jerry Jones don't hide it. Jerry Jones got girls simulating giving him oral sex on the elevator at Jerry's World. Like Jerry's kind of cool. I ain't gonna lie. Jerry's like, but they at least seem like they want to engage with Jerry. Dan Snyder is the dude who got rich, and that's the only reason he got chicks. He's the DJ Academics of all the NFL owners. Like nobody really respects you, but you're a part of the culture. It's the only reason you get girls. But Daniel Snyder is even though I shout out to B-Rob and all those guys for not beating the murder charge, beating murder, but like even the whole Washington, they were the Washington Redskins. They're now the Commanders. But even that whole thing, like trying to go down with the ship, and then just your previous owner was a known racist, didn't want the league integrated, like because he doesn't like money. Like sometimes when you think about what people say, well, why can't we go? Like when I was talking to somebody about this, and we were talking about Make America Great. Actually, I was talking with George Foster on Twitter about like when I go to Cracker Barrel and I eat those that hash brown casserole. Like each time for like half a second, I want to go back to that era because that's what you really mean. You want to know when America was great? When people say make America great again, they mean Cracker Barrel. And Cracker Barrel simulates antebellum South. When black, like I used to get offended because it felt like every time I went to Cracker Barrel, they'll put me in the back. Like I could never sit in the front. But the food was good enough to where I was just like, you know what? Sometimes racism wins. It's good enough to just have a little sprinkle, a little smidge of the racism. Like even if it's not implied, it's just kind of like I'm cool with that. But yeah, but Daniel Snyder just like doesn't care, and he's willing to blow up the league, and that's it's cowardice, but at the same time, it's strategic as hell, man. You gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. The only people who I think billionaires secretly hate other billionaires because they're too much alike. Just like I think women hate women. I've never seen people more like women hate everybody because they always go to scorched earth when it doesn't go their way. Like you got to blow up everything. Like that's what Dan Snyder is doing, acting very catty. Yeah. Like if I can't have you, nobody will. Like that's not gonna work. It never works. Like I'm trying to figure out what movie not even in the movies does it work. Like to side chicks, to the side chicks that listen to this show because I know some of y'all do.
I've heard Farmer Mullins' president came on and said all the owners hate each other.
I believe it. I believe it. Like when you go out and you put that woman-to-woman letter out, has it ever worked in your favor? Like, do you get because you still want the guy, because if you didn't want the guy, you would just walk away. Do you get the guy? And does the woman actually leave the guy? Because obviously, if the guy wasn't good, neither one of you would want him. Because we all know what the reality is. The reality is you got this guy that's got multiple suitors, and then you got Jodies. And the Jodies is just worse. I don't know if yes, he's all yours, but he's also on your couch using your food stamp card, driving your car. Like you have 100% of nothing. And you could have had 50% of a lot. But that's neither here nor there. But I say women hate women because this is a little thing I'm just gonna get into. But like, have you seen what's happening with these female rappers? I'm an unapologetic Cardi B fan. I'm starting to like Glorilla. I've heard her real voice. This Rick Ross shit throws me off a little bit, but it's dope in a rap voice. Baby, talk normal so you can keep that voice for the rest of your life, the rapping voice. But every time a girl gets bigged up, Nicki Minaj has to come off her 45-year-old perch and hate. And I know this might get some Nicki Minaj loyalists or Nika, whatever the fuck her name is. Like, just realize when you support and you cap for Nicki, it's kind of like Deion Sanders supporters. Like, you're really, they can be right at times and you can like their music. You can like what they do, but you're supporting an ain't shit person. I'm sorry to tell you, Nicki Minaj's husband is a rapist. He can't go pick up his kid from school. Like, legitimately cannot be around people. But they're getting into this beef. And the one thing I'm getting tired of is seeing all this Twitter back and forth shit, right? Drop some fucking diss tracks. Like, you're in a man's world. You want equality. Jay-Z made Takeover. Nas made Ether. Queen Latifah called Foxy Brown a deep voice prostitute on a track. Like, get out here and make some good shit so we can vibe to, at least. What it is right now is I think the chick Lotto, Nicki Minaj was probably supposed to be on that song Big Dick Energy she made. Yeah. And then Nicki started subtweeting because she won a Grammy for it. And Nicki wasn't on it. So now Nicki's upset because she could have been on one of the, like, that song is getting played in Target commercials. Right. Like, it's like, and she would have got points off of that, but she didn't do it. Now, enough of that. One of the things that I always love is when people, again, we have there's less stereotypes, more descriptors. And the beautiful thing about me and Denny, when we were doing our show more consistently, is that we got a chance to discuss these descriptors. And some stereotypes are true for a reason. And nothing's better than what the Kelsey brothers, and I love the openness and the transparency. Like, I hope my boys, if this stuff is still good, and I have the platform, are able to have a podcast where you just get a chance to see the day in the life. I would love to see the Gronks do a podcast, like all of them, because it's a lot of them. They just seem like a good family that people can relate to. But the Kelseys were here, and they were discussing what's the toughest position to play in football. And we have this discussion in my group chat. I personally think defensive end is the most athletic, or the toughest, or left tackle is the toughest position to play in football. But I will say, the center Kelsey raised a really good point. Yeah. He raised a very good point. And because you have the you got one of them that everybody jokes about is racist. And it was so funny because he plays for the 49ers and he went to go, like, there was like 3 white fans and the one black fan was right there. He really wanted to shake his hand. He shook everybody's hand except for the big ass black guy's face. I'm not saying he did it on purpose, but I'm just saying, like, that's how narratives start, bro. But like, let's just play with the Kelce's. We're talking about it. For those who are like listening, Jason Kelce arguing with Travis about why cornerback is the hardest position to play. It's so hard that white people can't even do it. Like, they don't even let white guys try it anymore. They just said, nah, we're done getting white guys. And it's true. They're even letting white guys play running back again. But they're not letting white guys play corner. It's crazy. But let's go ahead and push play on that video so I can get more video that I can't get monetized because I'm getting everything copyrighted.
Dude, you got to mirror somebody throughout the whole field. Like, you're playing cover one. What's harder than playing cover one and just staying in somebody's hip, and you can't give up a yard of separation, otherwise it's a completion.
I never
just
thought it
reacting.
was that hard. Yeah, no, reacting. Yeah, no,
You never thought it was that hard.
The
When
good
did you
ones,
play DB?
the good ones, when I was in high school.
Listen,
On
it's so
freshman,
good.
on
It's
JV.
so good that white people can't even do it, Travis. Like, that's how you know it's the hardest position. They don't even let white guys try to play quarterback anymore. Like, they just said, you're done. It's too hard of a position.
Nah,
It's too physically demanding. Can't even
that's
do it.
funny as hell. Yeah, you're right. That point
Jason
alone,
Sehorn.
it is probably. Yeah, he's
And Jason
C.
Sehorn played when
think
I
there
was in
another
high
guy
school.
that played like a year or two ago, but that's how you know that shit's hard.
If we all don't know him, it doesn't.
The
matter.
funniest thing about Jason Sehorn stories, real talk, is that Jason Sehorn used to wear long sleeves, right? Jason Sehorn played for the New York Giants. And he wore a neck thing.
Yeah.
And he had a visor at times. It was guys that used to say, we didn't even know he was white.
I did not on Madden. Did not know he was white.
Jason Sehorn was so good that he broke stereotypes. Again, I want to tell people, this is why I always laugh at people like, oh, how dare you? Because some things aren't racist. They're more descriptors, and it's more of a compliment when you do it. Now, because it's like something that nobody can do or should be able to do. It's like, it's already like I always tell you guys, 1% of the top 2% play professional. So like, it's already a compliment just to play pro, but like to be that good to even get there, like it's some things that you just see. Like telling me I'm well-spoken is terrible. That's not a compliment that you think. What am I supposed to be? Like, we should all speak English. We should all do things like that. Like, oh, you're so polished. I never thought that. Like, what do you mean by that? Now, to say like, but because it's a universally accepted thing, because what people don't realize, outside of Clay Travis, who really believes that the world is just even and doesn't even question the fact that a league that's 70% African American, because you can count on 2 hands the amount of African American coaches it's at. But there is no black. It's just whatever. I know, Clay, you got a puppeteer to your base and all the other things, but this is not what I'm getting at. It is so wild because white coaches don't go for white corners. It's not even like you can't even like if like right now, my son's godfather is a large white man. He is the offensive coordinator too of the school he's the head coach of. I promise you, if we see a white cornerback over our 5-star wide receiver, Jamie French, you know what we're going to do? We're immediately checking takeoff. We are literally going to make that white kid prove that he can play corner. We'll do the same thing to the black kid. Don't get it twisted. But trust and believe, the white kid's going to have a long night. He might be racist at the end of the night. I'm just telling you. What I saw against the Jags when they gave the starting running back for the Texans a break, they put in a white running back, and trust me, everybody let me know that was a white running back that was out there, and that Pilgrim put our black linebacker in the matrix. You know what we ended up having to do? We put in a white linebacker. You know what white linebackers do? The fundamentals. And that bitch was getting stuff done. We needed some Pilgrim on Pilgrim violence. It's just funny. Like when you're in the athletic culture, you'll see some of the like this is why every year doing drafts, I tell you, I know who they're talking about without even having to see a picture. Like it is literally descriptors, and it just sometimes it's funny when they say it, and sometimes you know what. That's the safest way to be if you haven't learned from the other guy. I had somebody, a good friend of mine, who means well, Tommy, just let people have that word. You don't need it. You got everything else. The world was designed for you. You're an old white man. Like you don't need to say that word, and you don't need to defend other people saying that word. Like that young man gonna be okay. But right, and like those guys are breaking stereo. You know how good and even Cooper Kupp had to. All right. Again, more personal stories that I can add to this. And this is kind of taking the show where I wasn't going. But the best, I tell all the kids that I coach, they can come and tell you, the best running back that I've ever coached was Cole Mazza. Cole Mazza is very white. Love Cole to death. Cole was like 6'1", 220 pounds, did everything right, actually went in the Jacksonville area, I believe was second to only Derrick Henry in all the years that he started in rushing yards. He ran his sophomore, junior, and senior year, he consistently rushed for over like 1,500 or more yards. Really, really good running back. Very good young man, very good family. He did not get recruited. He went to Stetson because I quote, the coach from Middle Tennessee State, former Florida State grad, told me, James, I cannot be the guy to come into the state of Florida and bring a white skill player out of the state of Florida and he don't be successful. They will laugh me out of the industry. I had to tell this young man things that my mama had to tell me about life, but just for football. And it's so funny. I'm just like, yo, I can't believe I said, Cole, sometimes you just got to be, you're going to have to be 3 times better than than the black running backs. You don't believe? Okay, 2-yard Toby. What was Toby? Toby Gerhardt. Derrick Henry broke Toby Gerhardt's rushing record in high school. Toby Gerhardt broke the national high school rushing record. It only had one Division I scholarship. He was running back at Stanford that was really, really good. That probably should have won the Heisman. I don't think, because he ran for over 2,000 yards in high school. And still was, college. And still was a second or third round pick. It's just funny, like the things like I got to tell him, like, hey, man, listen, dude, no matter how. Because, again, I bring it up, Cooper Kupp, Stephen A. Smith, the cool Steve Smith, the one that played for the Panthers, is literally telling people in the draft he is the best wide receiver in this draft. And the black guy is telling everybody that the white wide receiver is the best guy in this draft. And the white guys were picking on him like he didn't know what he was talking about. An all-pro wide receiver is telling you. And they're like, yeah, that's right. That's Steven. He's white. He can. What do you want? What are you trying to make this? Why do you make everything about race, Steven? The white wide receiver, they don't make those. Christian McCaffrey, I think, is the only one that kind of was able to break the mold, but he didn't just play running back. He played wide receiver. He played everything. Like, it was just like he had to literally show the world that I'm like, this is good. Okay. But like, it's just funny. Like, because again, like I promise you, it's just like another example. My coach, Billy Sexton, P. Diddy, Pat Davis, great kid. Well, great guy. He's not a kid. He's the same age as me. Pat Davis walked on to Florida State, walks into our running back room, says, hey, coach, my coach, old white man, running backs coach, Billy Sexton, looks at him and said, hey, son, I think you're in the wrong room. He says, no, coach, I play running back. I'm here to play running back. He said, running back? You're white, son. You're a white running back. They don't make those. I ain't seen a white running back since the Betamax. I didn't even know what a Betamax was. I had to go look it up. Betamax was before the VCR for people who don't know what that is. Betamax was supposed to be the technology that was supposed to take everybody from VCRs, guys. It's like DVD over Blu-ray. I'm just telling you guys, man, it is a world. It is why I said this. I put on a tweet. I am a black male that makes pretty decent money, that has good credit, has a lot of other stuff. But when I see white people complain about things, it's funny because I'm like, you literally built the world is built for white men. And white men are the biggest detractors. So, like, if you're mad that white running backs don't exist, it ain't my fault. We just athletic. But to prove my point, Cole had all that production, no Division I offers besides Stetson. I had a running back that I went to when I went to the school. He had 900. He had a lot. He had just under 1,000 yards. He had 5 D1 offers. Every running back I've had has gone to college, and there's only been one white one, and he's the most productive.
But these guys are trained to see skills and talents and burst and speed and numbers.
When white people tell you that they don't see color, they are fucking lying to you. It is prevalent in sports. I kid you, it is prevalent in sports. White basketball player, motherfucker better be dope. You better be a bad one. I'm just saying, listen. As my guy Sugar Free, who's now married, I don't understand how pimps get married, but he just figured it out. I didn't write the book, I just read the motherfucker. Like, don't blame, or as Pac says, don't blame me. I was given this world, I didn't make it. But there is a white running back that is very, very good, and he goes to Clemson. And Florida State plays Clemson this weekend in Tallahassee, Florida. Everybody's breaking this down. The question that I get more often than not this week from fans, from rivals, from detractors, James, why is the line only 3.5 against Clemson? And I'm like, because Clemson hasn't had a hard time scoring over 23 points. Clemson isn't as really good as what everybody thinks that they are. And Florida State is better than what they've played like. I mean, I don't think people are expecting Florida State to get 20 to have 20 plus penalties like they've had in the last 2 games. The sound go off?
It's still going.
Oh, okay. Like they're not expecting Jordan Travis to play his worst statistical game, a guy who doesn't turn the ball over a lot. They're not expecting a lot of the different things that Florida State has done, and they're also not expecting DJ Ukulele to be Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, or even Trevor Lawrence. This isn't the Clemson of old. This is a good Clemson team, though. Clemson's defense has shown a propensity to be able to give up points. I do not know what Florida State team is going to show up. I do believe that it will be a good football game. And as I have told people outside of, especially when the season started, when we played LSU, what I expect to see from Florida State is good football games. Is an exciting, entertaining matchup. And that's really what I'm going for. And I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm not even going to hold you. I'm probably going to be drunk. So I'll be in a box. I still got tickets if anybody wants any to come to the game. We're still selling tailgate tickets as well. But just checking that out. And now to Florida State fans on both sides, I need you guys to relax. We need to chill on the Fire Mark Norvell talk. Hold accountable. But we also need to chill on we got to support them. We got to do all this. Hey, man, relax. They're big boys. If they're paying attention to what you guys are saying as fans, that's a big problem. They don't need to be watching this. The only thing they need to be watching is game day on Saturdays, and that's just because that's a ritual. That's a proof. It's kind of cool. You want to see yourself on game day. But I will say this. They've got to – they should not be in the position that they're in now. They should be at minimum 5-1. I believe they should be 6-0 because they played so bad in the last 2 games. To not get blown out and for it to be basically a 1-score game is a testament in what Mike Norvell is building into these guys. And I think the last time Florida State played a top 5 ranked team in Doak, they beat them, and that was North Carolina. So Mike knows how to get these guys up, and I do think that that Florida State can win, but I'm not going to predict them to win this game because I never predicted them to win this game in general. I just didn't think that they would drop Wake Forest and NC State, especially in the manner in which they did. But I love making fun of Dabo Swinney because I personally dislike Dabo Swinney. I think he's disingenuous. I think he is corny. I think he is everything that's wrong with the coaching profession. He's a guy who always talks about players getting paid. And then when I saw this, I was like, you know, sometimes you see stuff and you're like, damn, that's really, really true. The first time I ever saw this, and again, I like when I'm presented with new information, that makes me think. I love to research it. I love to challenge it. I like to go back and if it's true, then I roll with it. It's kind of like when I got presented with the information about the Karate Kid was actually the bad person in the Karate Kid movie. And Cobra Kai was there. When I saw that, and the guy presented a really, really good point. Those guys weren't fucking with anybody. The new kid came in and fucked with them. It actually held a grudge and kept fucking with him, kept poking the bear, got his ass whooped, and then some old guy comes in and he starts being a bully. I never really thought about Captain Hook being the good guy in Peter Pan until you realize Captain Hook was only trying to kill Peter Pan. He wasn't trying to kill the kids, the Lost Boys. He wasn't trying to kill the Lost Boys. And if you think about it, there was a relationship between those things because Peter Pan was kidnapping kids and never letting them grow up. Captain Hook was actually saving the kids from this potential pedophile. When you think about it, like sometimes you gotta get a new perspective. Sometimes the villain isn't who we think it is, and you have to have an open mind. So when this guy presented this to me, and I think he's corny, I think he's dorky, I think he's stupid, I think he might have an IEP number. If you don't know what an IEP is, look it up. It's the new creative way to say certain words. Oh my goodness. There's always a better way. See, I'm telling you, you don't have to say the words they tell you not to say. You can be more intelligent. Yeah. So, but go ahead, let's play this because once you hear this comparison, I think you'll come on my side too about cornball Dabo.
There is not a person, place, or thing in, on, or around this planet that can convince me that Clemson coach Dabo Swinney is not the real-life Forrest Gump. His outfit is nearly an exact replica, and his running form is spot on, so I can only imagine after he leads his Power 5 football
He also played football at Alabama for those listening.
I was running. And I assume he wakes up every day reminiscing about the good memories he made with his friend that has long blonde hair. I love you, Trevor.
I'm just saying, when somebody presents a really good argument, only an ignorant person wouldn't like acknowledge it. Like he does have a weird fascination with Trevor Lawrence, and his life has gone downhill since Trevor disappeared. I'm just saying, I'm not. Again, you can believe what you want to believe, but what I do believe though is that Clemson is just. I don't think we beat him though. I'm not saying that, and I hope we do, but I don't think we win. So, but on to a game that I'm not going to spend a lot of time on because I don't want to. Let me make sure they're playing because have you ever? Again, I don't necessarily like I like Nas as a rapper, right? But I don't necessarily like Nas as a. I don't like Takeover. I don't think. Excuse me, my bad. I don't think Ether is one. No, it is Takeover that I'm about to quote. I don't think Ether is one of the greatest diss tracks of all time. It doesn't have anything really factual in it. Like he doesn't like when you have a debate, you have to go at the facts that were presented on the other side, and you have to present them with things that are tangible. Now, this is what Jay-Z basically said. He went through that man's entire discography at the time, and he told the truth, and we all had to pay attention to it. But you can put the thing on there, but has anybody ever embodied rap lyrics more than the University of Miami? You had a spark when you started, but now you just garbage. Fell from top 10 and not mentioned at all. Like Miami, they announced the Miami Duke game is basically going to be on ESPN Deportes. I don't know where Bally Sports. I didn't even know Bally Sports TV was anything, but that's the next week's game. Miami plays Virginia Tech right now in a battle of mid, and they're playing on ESPN3, which means you have to have good Wi-Fi to be able to check it out. So basically, you guys are going to be watching the score updates on the ESPN app, just like the rest of us. This is basically the equivalent of when I played putting a game on pay-per-view. It means both programs stink. That's what happens when you believe in lying ass Cubans. And I just don't. I feel I want to feel bad for you, but I don't. I don't even know what time is the game. And it's at 12:30. Miserable. You couldn't even get prime time on pay-per-view. That's fucked up. Florida plays LSU. That's about all I'm giving them. Florida plays LSU at 7 p.m. One of my kids is going down there. Shout out to Jamie French. 7 p.m. Both teams are unranked. ESPN is giving LSU the matchup predictor 63% chance to win. You've got two athletic quarterbacks, one that has actually been very, very way better than the other. Everybody said that AR-15 was going to be the guy this year, and he's been playing better the last couple weeks as like a quarterback. He's got 5 passing touchdowns, which like the first 3 games he had none. First 4 games he had none. So to get 5 is impressive. 7 interceptions, 1,182 yards, 81 for 145. Jaden Daniels, however, has been incredibly accurate. 121 for 176 for 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns and 1 interception. And he's the leading rusher for LSU, 359 yards, 3 touchdowns. Probably most of those yards coming against Florida State week 1. It's interesting because I want to see what happens in this game, because when Florida State played LSU, everybody said LSU was going to beat Florida State. They're going to beat them down, in fact. But then when Florida State won, everybody said, oh, well, that's just LSU. And I had a lot of people from the Gators talk a lot of trash. So, like, now we get to see, is it going to hold up? Are you going to be able to beat them when they come down to the swamp? And I personally think they're going to have a career day against some really, really good opponents. Their 2 losses come against a Tennessee team that's just really fucking good and Florida State. Florida's defense, which is really a lot better than I believe they've been playing. Gervin Dexter, and forgive me, I can't remember the defensive end's name, are just extremely good football players. Like, at times they do what you want an NFL player to do. Like, they take over games. Like, they're unblockable at times. But at the same rate, this Florida defense has been giving up an average of 412 yards a game. And I think LSU's defense, top to bottom, might be better. And they've only given up 328 yards a game. Offensively, they're very similar. Florida has a more balanced attack, but that's going to be a game that I'm going to be watching on my phone while I'm paying attention, while I'm looking at the clips, because I'm just curious to what the outcome is going to be. Because we're contrary to popular belief, I don't like Florida, but I don't dislike Florida. One of my best friends is a Gator fan, and I really like Anthony Richardson. But I'm curious because the amount of trash talking that has been going on, and I want to know if LSU is LSU. To the pro side, the Jags play the Colts again, and the Colts like literally looked like Matt Ryan was going to retire when they played the Jags. But really, the only thing from this game is I want to make sure we play this video clip. But the Jags are extremely confident going into this game. But like, the one thing about the NFL is one thing about anything in life, it's hard to beat a team twice. And you know that they're going to make adjustments, and they have one of the best running backs in the NFL, or at least in the division. And he didn't do very well. The Jags literally just dominated every aspect of the Colts game. But this is what your first overall pick is saying, and this is some mighty, mighty big talk that I hope he's able to back up and source me O'Brien for the clip. And it's 18 seconds of badassery and boldness. So let's see where we go.
That's definitely something to give us a lot of motivation as well, just because we got what we'll call it sitting duck in the backfield. So of course we like that. So as long as we rushing as a unit up front, then we're gonna have some fun.
So not opposed to it. It's not bad if you can back it up.
I mean, he's telling the truth.
And that's what happened. So like I'm hoping, because if not, on Sunday, when I have to do First Coast News, we're gonna talk about that. And I hope Trayvon is right and accurate with this, because I really want the Jags to be good. So stop the cap. Be a male. If you got to prove that you're an alpha, then you're not an alpha male. Alpha Male Clinic in Jackson is here to make sure that we don't have to just talk about being the man. We can actually prove that we're the men every day in life. Feel good, look good, feel good, fuck good. That is our motto. We're giving the gift of ourselves coming here into this holiday season. It's going to be a lot of snacks, a lot of stuff. We're going to start building the foundation so that when the new year hits, we're not out here just lying and we're trying to say we're going to get back. We actually have the momentum built up to be able to have the results that we want. We're going to be talking about peptides. We're going to be talking about HGH in the proper use, in the proper context. We're going to be talking about testosterone replacement therapy. We're going to be talking about becoming a better person, not this bullshit that everybody else has been talking about. Like, that shit is not cool. Like, ain't nothing wrong with you, bro. You're not broken. Like, and that's what they keep trying to make it seem like when you hear these commercials. You're not broken. You just need your performance to be enhanced. And we are going to enhance the performance of every male that listens to this show. We got stuff for the ladies too, but they're not paying us to talk about that. We're talking about the men right now so that we can go out here and start breaking backs and beds. But this guy right here, I think men who attack women are cowardly, in particular women who are not defending, like who did nothing to you. I'm not Brady. I want to play the other guy. This guy was like Nostradamus, but a lot of guys, you're not happy in your marriage. Sometimes it's an insecurity thing. So what we don't want to do is be like this guy. Not the guy talking. He's secure, even though he's fluffy. But just listen to this thing. It's the craziest thing I've seen on the internet.
Constantly like a child in my
People
own
in
house.
love, they yell at each other all the time.
Oh, but that's
They
true.
don't have
Ask him.
nothing
He's
to
been
do.
married for how long?
Over 20-something years.
Over 20.
Look at him though. He look mad.
Now, this dude look like Herschel Walker for people who don't know. Like, he actually walks and talks like him.
You don't look happy.
This guy's a bailiff, and the guy said he looks mad and not happy in his marriage.
He's very happy.
Sherman Chow, a former TV show bailiff and current Harris County deputy charged with his wife's murder, now ordered not to attend her funeral. Renard Spivey appeared before a judge today.
That's a clean ass suit, though.
Very specific rules for his bond. David Gonzalez explains.
That's very beta. We don't want to be like him, but like, let's just stop the cap. Stop the cap. Marriage is a bad contract. It's not all it's cracked up to be, guys. Like, it ain't for everybody. Like the longest relationship that I have in my family are by two people who are dating. They might have got married at just for I guess they got older, but like the Shingles, Daryl and Desiree, my god brothers, like they mom and dad. They just like if they married, they just got married recently. They dated my entire growing up life, and they were happy. Like, erase this notion that you got, because sometimes y'all get locked into these things, and relationships are hard, man. And especially when you feel childish, and a lot of times it becomes from an insecurity to something. Nothing proves more than what's going on with Tom Brady. Now, my baby sister is doing what I do, but doing it on a higher level. She was actually on TMZ, and she got an opportunity to talk about Giselle and Tom Brady's marriage. Giselle basically wants this man who's been successful in doing this thing for his whole life. He only knows football, and she wants him to give up football. And now let's listen to my sister talk with Harvey and them about her opinions on the damn case. Yeah.
So my name is Kyla Coleman. I'm currently in Tampa, Florida, and I'm with Giselle. I'm a family law attorney. I always tell my clients that whenever you're going through a divorce, you need to have some sort of counseling. You need to have something to keep you in a peaceful state of mind. So whatever it is that she's doing, whether it's the prayer beads, the spiritual healing, go for it, sis. I'm on Giselle's side with this one.
What city are you in? I forgot.
I'm currently in Tampa.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. They've got lawyers in Florida. Hers, I believe, is in Palm Beach, but they're going to file this thing in Florida. Any tricks here in terms of what happens that's maybe unique to Florida?
Well, I mean, we have the irretrievably broken standard when it comes to divorces, meaning that it's a no-fault state. So if there was infidelity, if there was, anything crazy going on, they don't have to disclose that to the court. All they have to do is just say, it's broken, we're not going to get back together. Personally, my opinion is that these two should just separate, go their separate ways. They're both filthy rich, come up with a parenting plan for the kids and call it a day.
Wow, that was simple. You're only going to get a couple $100 with that advice. You need to string it out.
Where are the billable hours?
I mean, one, my sister knows family law. That's what she does. And I know a lot of women are like, that's what she finna hit Tom Brady's pockets. Newsflash, she makes more than Tom Brady.
Yeah, really.
And we're in the state of Florida, and they've got kids. You know what the state of Florida does? They have this really strict thing that you can't make more. Like, you can't make it substantially more than your spouse. So the spouse who makes more money is the one who pays child support. Women's rights. This is a City Boys Up by 1,000. She better take my sister's advice and just force Tom to be amicable about it. But again, if we just stopped the cap and they never got married and just had kids, they would probably been just as happy as they are right now. But going into this last part is my hate o'clock. Hate o'clock brought to you by Green Acre Sporting Goods. Green Acre Sporting Goods is the dope ass place that I go get my stuff from. Right here, got my stuff. It's dope. Got my little tars. Before you people get on me, before you guys get on me, it's there is no mag in it. I got it. Don't tempt me, but it's just you can go there. You can go get your guns, get you whatever you want. It's hunting season coming up. They got bullets. Nobody else has it. And you know what happens if you go in there and you mention sports den or big game? They're going to give you $100 off select weapons that are already reasonably priced, and they're going to give you free bullets. They're going to give you a box of bullets, especially if you buy the AR-15 or if you buy the TAR. So they're going to give you something to be able to walk out with so that you're going to be armed, ready to take on. If you need a concealed carry class, we're going to do one. They have it every day of the week around noon. We're going to do a special Big Games BS one, and it's going to be live. I think everybody should give themselves the gift of the Second Amendment to go learn about the Second Amendment and to go do other different things. So Green Acre Sporting Goods, go check them out. My favorite people, Z and them, will never lead you wrong. They've also got safes. They've got bows and arrows. They got fishing equipment, all your outdoor needs. Just an outdoor man's paradise. So check them out. My hate o'clock is people feeling the need to expose other people. And I hated it to sound like this, but it's women again. And before we get into the meat, Miles, we're going to get into people who used to have meat and don't have meat anymore. There is a saying now you got to be careful about if you're a man. Now there's Hennessy, and that's Cardi B's sister. I did not know she was that fine. But then there's Hennessy Tells. That's not this one yet, Miles. You can probably Google Hennessy Tells. And Hennessy Tells is a story that I don't think I got to be careful how I tread this because I don't want the consonants to come after me. I believe your life is tough. I think this makes your life tougher. I believe that there's two things that every adult should have to disclose when they become they're about to be intimate, whether it's leaving the club or anything else. I think you should be required to tell what your gender is, not what you identify as, because we're not at that point yet. I don't care if you identify as a woman or if you identify as a man. If you're not a woman, what if I like biologicals? I should know what I'm getting into. So there's that. And I should also know if you have an STI. Like, because those are things that are dictating what my taste. And I know a lot of times people like the argument of, well, if you like women, I am a woman. To you, you are a woman. But like, come on. So apparently there was a transgender that moved from New York, that moved to Miami, that has been actively having sex with straight men, or from what we deem straight men. And you might have to go on Twitter. I'm seeing it on Twitter and stuff. And apparently it was one rapper. It was a and a few other men, almost like 100 something men, between Miami-Dade and Broward.
Ooh, no.
Yeah, so basically a man had sex with other men. Now this, to Hennessy's credit, I guess, she did the full chop. There ain't nothing there yet. There's nothing there. Now, her foot's bigger than mine. She's tall. There are some things that probably could give questions, but there are some women that I know that have strong features too, that are strong and big and have big feet. But like, here's where it becomes dangerous, is that you didn't tell people this, and now you're doing what people consider as exposing people.
Yeah, we can't even click her page.
It's like something out.
There's stuff there, yeah.
Okay, yeah. And now she's got an OnlyFans page and she's got other stuff. This is giving her the attention that she wants. And it's like, what did this help? This isn't helping the cause. This isn't helping people become more sympathetic. What you did was, even if these men were on the low, right? Let's say they knew everything. It's not your right. I gotta turn around. It's not your right to expose somebody who's not ready to come out, and that's what she looks like. So like people talk, like there was a national coming out day a couple days ago, and people talk about how tough it was for them to come out to people. So you in this world already know this and how this feels. So when you do this to somebody, you not only put yourself in danger, you put them, because now you have literally rocked their entire core. You have no idea how this person's going to react. People who don't believe it, remember what we just saw with the Virginia Tech football team, with the young man who just beat the charges for I believe second degree manslaughter.
About that.
The guy says he didn't know, but I personally believe he kind of did, and that he and the idea of being outed caused him something. When yes, he could be true to himself, but it's not your job to do these things. And it's a very catty thing. I don't understand why we need to know who you've had sex with. And why you expose this. It's why I'm cool with Brittany Renner making the money, but it's like, why people are like, I don't like that. Don't like when Brittany Renner does it. Don't like when this happens. I don't need to know this. And apparently it's some rapper now that now he's got to go explain why his lifestyle.
Wow.
That's a little bit more heavier, but on a less heavy note. And this is an actual woman from what I understand. Basketball player. I think it was football player, excuse me. Football player has a chick. And this is the real wild part, right? With the exposing people, right? Jamar Chase's baby mama, Amber Nicole, asked the NFL and the Bengals to kick him out of the league for being a deadbeat dad. Also, having his mom come over to her house to beat her up. And then, if those things are true, why don't you just file a police report, let the NFL do their stuff. The NFL will go around about doing those things. But this last part is just the thing that always trips me out about women. Like when I was playing in college, right? There was a chick who came out and she decided to expose herself or expose one of the players by basically exposing herself. She was like, he got herpes because I got herpes. How did that? Who won? You say you gave him the herpes. You gave him the herpes. I don't know if it's true or not, but I'm like, you felt so bad about whatever it is that he did to you that you felt the need to expose yourself and let people know about your L. So Jamar Chase, baby mama, says this. He doesn't bathe regularly. Like, you mean to tell me you felt the need to let the world know that you letting stinky dick in your pink? Like, what does that say about you? You know this man out don't wash his ass, but you want him to be your baby daddy. So if he don't wash his ass, guess who else ass he ain't washing? Your babies. At the end of the day, we gotta stop this shit. We gotta be adults, man. You don't have to like your baby daddy or your baby mama. But imagine living in a world where you're so upset that every day you hate somebody that you made a lifetime commitment to by having a child.
Right, that part.
Like, at a certain point, you have to make the choice to just be an adult or don't have the baby.
That's too much work, too much responsibility.
But like, now you expose, because here's what's happening. That kid's gonna grow up, right? This article is not. Just like OnlyFans ain't gonna go nowhere. I tell women, I don't really think women comprehend how the locker room really is. And not for the guy, for your own son. So if you've got video of your boobs out, you got an OnlyFans with you getting slapped, having a 13-inch penis slapped across your cheek, guess what's going to happen? That doesn't go anywhere. Your son's going to see this. Your son's friends are going to see this. And now kids are cruel. And now you guys want to talk about bullying culture, but you're giving ammunition to the goddamn bullies. So now when this kid grows up, son or daughter, don't really know. Hey, man, your dad balls stink. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, what? Why? Like, why do we need to know that little piece? Could you have kept that to yourself? Because you know what's going to happen, though? You know what's going to happen? You're going to get somebody because you're Jamar Chase's baby mama. This happens. I've seen it happen in my own life. But more importantly, he's going to get women because he's Jamar Chase. Right. And I bet that that child support check that you're going for is again, I just wasn't worth it. Now, to end this, speaking of child support, I like 50 Cent. I like multiple things can be true. I don't have to like the person, and I can think that a person is lame and still like the entertainer and respect the money that they make. Well, not this chick. I'm not going with this. We're not even going to touch that subject, Miles, but we will end with that, though. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson is in a situation where, again, this is why men have to be fathers to their sons. He's embroiled in a debate. Well, he's not. His son is going to social media, keeping himself in the news because he's saying that $6,750 a month is not enough in child support for him. And people have taken his side. They have said he just wants to spend time with his dad. Well, child support is about the support that you give the mom to support the kid, to offset the cost. And his mom got reduced, if I remember correctly, because she wanted to make more, and the judge said you're being greedy, and he made it lower. That being said, I haven't been a child for quite some time. I'm cool with child support while they're in college. But the New York State, you can technically be put on child support until you're 25 years old. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear the complaints of a 25-year-old saying that $6,750 a month is not enough.
For real. Ugh.
Tax-free. If you're on child support, that means you get Medicaid. That means you don't have to pay anything. You have no real responsibility. You know what it's time to be? It's time to be a man. I'm with 50 on this one now. I hate deadbeat dads. But at the end of the day, dude, if you really want to reconcile with your pops, reconcile with your pops. But you bringing this up and talk about that's not enough money when you like so 10, so that's $67,500 for. So you add another, so that's add 13 to that. So dude, you're talking about $80,000 a year is not enough to live on.
Oh, in New York,
before tax. I mean, no, like because that was so technically you're making $100,000
without working,
and you don't have to do anything. Like you could go actually get a job. Like you can go do something with your life. That's not trying to shame a guy that proven that he doesn't have to. He can't be shamed. Man, fuck that kid. It's real dads that ain't paying shit out here. This man don't owe you nothing. This man don't owe you nothing, but that's your mom talking.
That's what I was gonna say. Where he learned it from?
That's your mom being bitter. It's two sides to every story, and I don't believe a man who's paying that much money. I really believe, like right now, you know what I would do if I was 50 Cent's son? I don't believe in sucking your dad's dick. Don't try to go over it. Like, but here's the reality, dog. Your dad has a green light film company, basically. He can do whatever he wants to do on Stars. You can become a producer. You can become so many different things that you just are choosing not to do. It reminds me of a damn, I forgot what it's like another famous person whose daughter, Dr. Dre's daughter. Dr. Dre's daughter is like 30 my age, and she's complaining that he's not supporting and taking care of her. Bitch, you got kids. At a certain point, you got to live. You have to get off your ass. And what you should be doing is trying to go in and try to enhance the familial wealth. Learn the family business. Get in where you fit in. You should be able to eat off of the trees, off of the tree and the branches of the tree that your father built. But instead, you're over here arguing that he's not giving you enough. And he's consistently said in all of his interviews by anybody in this circle, I'm not giving you anything. You can earn however much money you want, but I won't give you anything. It's an entitlement. And it's crazy. To me, at least. Extremely crazy. So, with that being said, there are deadbeat dads in this world. And there's also things that connect people. Like, there's a Netflix special that I haven't watched because Netflix specials are crazy. Like, I don't want to watch that Dahmer shit. But I am interested in this sperm clinic doctor that like has like 1,000 kids or something in the Midwest because he was using his own sperm to fund the clinic. And they had to use 23andMe. But basically, I guess there's another type of, like, for the state of Georgia or in the Southeast that, you know, because at some point this election cycle, we've learned that we all may have a little crazy in us. And we don't know. And just in case you're curious, and I have a friend who actually does have a child by this guy, and she doesn't need it. She's already done the stuff that's necessary. But Jimmy Kimmel did a great skit. Is Herschel Walker your dad too? And questions that need answers. So it's called 34andMe. And 34 has been in a lot of me's. Like, so Herschel, we can all be, we'll end this with, we all got a little Herschel in us. So we'll check this out and then we'll kill it. Oh, you got to put it on there. But this is the funniest thing about Herschel Walker is that his own campaign people are dropping him now because they asked him numerous times, did he have kids and is there anything that could come to haunt us? And he said no.
All right, here we go.
There are over 7 billion people in the world, but how many of us have the same father? Introducing 34andMe. Just swab your nose. Our team will analyze the results and reveal if Herschel Walker is your dad.
He is. Yeah, he is.
What?
What the
34andMe.
So what do I do now?
Be quiet.
I'm Raphael Warnock, and I approve.
Oh,
Well, I can't say I blame you.
wait a minute. Hold up.
There are over
No, shit, Jimmy. Like, God damn it, Jimmy. I didn't want to do that. I didn't know. I that was my first time watching. I didn't know they were gonna have that at the end. If Warnock did that, though, I know he did, but if he did that, that would be the most badass, petty shit I've ever seen in a politician. But one of the things I'm gonna end with is that I'm all for inclusion. To be honest with you, the funniest thing right now in politics is that the Republican Party actually is including more minority candidates than the Democrats are, especially in Jacksonville, which is funny with redistricting here. There are more Republican African American candidates that are going to be able to get jobs in, policy jobs than what the Democrats have put up. The problem I'll say with some of them is that they perpetuate the stereotype that people have of what affirmative action is and some other things. You have to put up qualified candidates. And I believe that there were other better qualified candidates in Georgia than a Herschel Walker. A perfect example of a qualified candidate in the state of Florida would be a Corey Simon. Corey Simon's being put up, qualified candidate. Don't just put up somebody up there to be a talking point, because you become the same race baiters that you blame other people for being. Nobody wants to be given anything. All people want is an opportunity. So one of the things that we got to look at as people in general is who's pandering and who's actually giving opportunities. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Great weekend in sports. Check out the NFL. Check out college. Tons of different kind of pseudo rivalries going on. FSU Clemson tailgate. Check out LSU Florida, Miami versus somebody. If you can find it on TV, good for you. ESPN Deportes for lying ass Cubans. I appreciate you guys for coming out, hanging out with me. Check out the tailgate. Check out the different events that we got. Mikinobi 1851 has some gear. Make sure y'all check that out. Appreciate you chopping up with me. We'll see you guys next week.